Hello dear phasmatic friends. Today we're going to study the laws of exponents, a very important subject in algebra. Follow me please. First of all, we have to know that x to the power of 1 equals x. It's logical. Always when you raise something, anything to the power of 1, you get the same thing. For instance, 3 to the power of 1 equals 3. Y to the power of 1 equals y. Second law. Something raised to the power of 0 equals 1. For instance, 3 to the power of 0 equals 1. Pay attention, 1, not 3 raised to the power of 1. 1. For instance, AB to the power of 0, 1. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. If we multiply the same bases with different exponents, we have to add exponents. For instance, 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 4 equals 2 to the power of 3 plus 4, 7. Another example, a to the power of negative 3 times a to the power of 4 equals a, because negative 3 plus 4 is 1. And remember that we are not going to write the 1. It is like that in algebra. If we divide the same base with different exponents, we are going to subtract those exponents. For instance, 3 to the power of 4 divided by 3 to the power of 2 equals 3 to the power of 4 minus 2, 2. Another example, a to the power of 3 divided by a to the power of 4. We are going to write a to the power of, we subtract 3 minus 4 minus 1. Next law. When you have one exponent raised to another exponent, you are going to multiply those exponents. For instance, 3 to the power of 2 and that raised to the power of negative 4, that is 3 to the power of negative 8, because 2 times negative 4, negative 8. After that, we have, for instance, a to the power of 3 raised to the power of 2, and that raised to the power of negative 3. So we write the a and we multiply 3 times 2 times negative 3, negative 18. The following law, when you have some factors, for instance, x times y raised to the power of n, this exponent will touch both, because you are using the distributive property. So you write x to the power of n times y to the power of n. For instance, a squared times b cubed to the power of negative 2 equals, remember the last property, when you have one exponent raised to another exponent, you multiply those exponents. So you are going to write a to the power of 2 times negative 2, negative 4. After that, b raised to the power of 3 times negative 2, negative 6. And that's it. Another example, 2w squared raised to the power of -1. Pay attention, please, because these two has a 1 here. So one exponent rise to another exponent, you have to multiply those exponents. And here it is the same. One exponent rise to another exponent, you multiply those exponents. Next property, when you have one division raised to one exponent, so this exponent will affect those expressions. So we are going to write x to the power of n divided by y to the power of n. For instance, 3a over b to the power of 2 is going to be, don't forget the 3, which is very important because I have some students that forget that. If you have exponent 1 here, you are going to multiply those exponents. 1 times 2, 2. A to the power of 2, b to the power of 2, because these 2 will multiply all the exponents that are inside the parenthesis. And here, 3 to the power of 2 is 9a squared divided by b squared. Another example, if you have z to the power of -1 divided by y to the power of 2 raised to the power of a. A is a letter. So we get z to the power of -a divided by y to the power of 2 times a. Because we multiply one exponent when it is raised to another exponent. Last property. If you have x to the power of -n is 1 over x to the power of n. That is, if you have a negative exponent, you can pass the expression to the denominator. And if it is in the denominator, you can pass it to the numerator. For instance, 2 to the power of -4 is 1 over 2 to the power of 4. Another example, a to the power of -2 over b to the power of -3. If it is in the denominator, you can pass it to the numerator and vice versa. So you can write it as b to the power of 3 over a to the power of 2. And that's it. Very, very simple, but you have to memorize those laws, those rules. And one last thing. Why anything raised to the power of 0 is 1? Well, what happens if I divide x by x? If you see this law, you have to subtract the exponents. So 1 minus 1 is 0. But you have also to remember that the same thing divided by the same thing is 1. 3 over 3 is 1, 10 over 10 is 1, x over x is 1. So that's why x to the power of 0, or anything to the power of 0, is 1. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time.